The Discovery, third person. The alien research vessel Finder's Hope drifted through the void near the edge of the spiral arm. Captain Rax and his crew had been mapping dead systems for months, looking for salvage and lost technology. The ship's sensors picked up something massive hidden in the shadow of a gas giant. Dr. Vale, the ship's science officer, studied the readings with growing excitement. The objects were clearly artificial, dozens of massive structures arranged in perfect formation. They were old, very old, but showed no signs of the decay that marked most ancient ruins. "Captain, these ships are enormous," Vale reported. "Each one is at least 10 times the size of our largest warships. The metal composition is unknown, but the energy readings suggest they're still powered." Commander Brix, the military advisor, felt uneasy. Dead fleets don't keep their lights on. This could be a trap. The crew approached carefully. As they got closer, the true scale became clear. There were not dozens but hundreds of vessels, all arranged in perfect battle formation. Each ship was a masterpiece of engineering, sleek, deadly, and built for war. The aliens had never seen anything like these designs. The ships followed no known architectural patterns. They were built by someone with completely different ideas about space combat. Strange symbols covered their hulls, and weapon ports suggested firepower beyond imagination. "These aren't like anything in our databases," Vale whispered. "The builders must have been incredibly advanced. Look at those engines. They're using technology we can barely understand." Captain Rax ordered a full scan. The results were disturbing. The fleet contained over 300 warships, each one capable of destroying entire planets. Whoever built them had possessed power that made current galactic civilizations look primitive. But who were the builders? The galaxy's history was well documented. No known race had ever possessed such technology. These ships seemed to come from nowhere, as if they had appeared from another dimension. The crew landed on the flagship, a massive dreadnought that dwarfed their own vessel. Inside, they found corridors designed for bipedal beings slightly taller than most galactic races. The architecture was functional but elegant, showing a culture that valued both efficiency and beauty. Emergency lighting still functioned, casting eerie shadows on empty hallways. The air was breathable but stale, suggesting the ships had been abandoned for centuries. Yet everything remained in perfect condition, as if the crew had simply vanished. In the command center, they found the ship's computers still active. The data was encrypted, but Vale's equipment slowly began breaking through the security. What they found made no sense. The timestamps showed the fleet had been built only 300 years ago, recent history by galactic standards. But no, civilization in known space possessed such technology 3 centuries past. The mystery deepened when they discovered the fleet's origin point, a system that supposedly contained only primitive worlds. "This is impossible," Brix muttered. 300 years ago, that system had nothing but early industrial civilizations. They were barely using electricity. Captain Rax studied the star charts. The origin system was marked as Sol in the ship's database, a name that meant nothing to any of them. According to galactic records, Sol contained several worlds with developing life, but nothing approaching spaceflight capability. As they explored deeper, they found crew quarters designed for beings that seemed familiar yet strange. The proportions were almost right for several known races, but not quite. Personal items suggested a culture that valued individual achievement and group loyalty in equal measure. The weapon systems were beyond anything in current galactic arsenals. Energy weapons that could crack planets, kinetic projectiles that moved at significant fractions of light speed, and defensive systems that bent space itself. This fleet could have conquered the entire galaxy, but it hadn't. It sat here, abandoned and forgotten, its builders vanished without explanation. Vale made another discovery in the ship's historical files. Images showed the builders, bipedal, beings with varied skin tones and remarkable diversity within their species. They called themselves by a simple name that the translation software rendered as human. "I've never heard of any race called human," Captain Rax said. "But these ships, if even one of them was operational, it could destroy our entire fleet. The implications were staggering. Somewhere in the galaxy, a race called human had built this armada and then disappeared. Their technology surpassed anything known to current civilization. They had possessed the power to rule the galaxy, but had chosen not to use it. As night cycle approached, the crew prepared to return to their ship. Tomorrow they would continue exploring, trying to understand who the humans were and what had happened to them. None of them suspected they were about to discover that humans hadn't disappeared at all. Pieces of the puzzle third person. The second day brought more mysteries. Dr. Vale's team discovered the fleet's manufacturing bay, where massive automated systems sat silent but ready. The technology was elegant in its simplicity. These humans had mastered manufacturing on a scale that put galactic industry to shame. Commander Brix found something more disturbing in the tactical center. Battle plans showed the humans had been preparing for a war against an enemy the files called the Swarm. The enemy descriptions matched no known species, but the planned response was overwhelming. Total annihilation. "Look at these projections," Brix told Captain Rax. The humans calculated they would need to destroy entire star systems to stop this swarm. They were prepared for genocide to protect something they called free worlds. The moral weight of the discovery troubled the crew. These humans had built weapons capable of sterilizing galaxies, but their records showed they agonized over using them. Personal logs revealed beings who struggled with the ethics of their own power. Vale found the ship's cultural database and began learning about human civilization. They were remarkably diverse. Thousands of different ethnic groups, hundreds of languages, and dozens of major philosophical systems. Yet they had somehow unified to build this fleet. The humans seemed to value something they called individual liberty above all else. Their political systems were designed to prevent any single authority from gaining too much power. They had actually fought wars against their own governments when those governments became oppressive. "This is strange," Vale noted. "Most successful spacefaring civilizations require strong central authority, but these humans seem to distrust authority while still cooperating on massive projects." Personal files painted a picture of beings who were simultaneously peaceful and warlike. They had eliminated war among themselves but prepared for war against external threats with frightening efficiency. They created art that celebrated life while building weapons that could end it. The ship's library contained thousands of years of human history. They had nearly destroyed themselves multiple times through war, environmental destruction, and internal conflict. Yet each time they had pulled back from the brink and emerged stronger. Captain Rax studied their technological development. The humans had gone from basic chemistry to galactic-level technology in just a few centuries. Their innovation rate was beyond anything seen in other species. They seemed to thrive on challenges that would destroy other civilizations. The fleet's communication logs revealed the humans had known about galactic civilization for decades before building these ships. They had watched from their home system, learning about other races while remaining hidden. The decision to reveal themselves had been delayed by something they called the Great Debate. They spent 20 years arguing about whether to make contact, Vale reported. Some wanted to join galactic civilization immediately. Others wanted to remain hidden until they were strong enough to defend themselves. A third group wanted to wait and help other species develop. The final decision had been forced by the approaching swarm. Human deep space monitors had detected the threat decades before galactic intelligence agencies. They had built this fleet in secret, preparing to defend not just themselves, but all free civilizations. Brix discovered tactical files showing the scope of human preparation. They hadn't just built warships. They had created mobile manufacturing platforms, self-repairing defense networks, and evacuation systems capable of moving entire populations. They had planned for a war lasting centuries. The humans had also prepared for their own potential defeat. Dead man switches would have activated if the fleet was destroyed, sending warning messages to every inhabited system in the galaxy. They had been willing to sacrifice themselves to give others time to prepare. But the war had never come. The swarm's approach had suddenly stopped, leaving the human fleet without purpose. The final logs were incomplete, but suggested the humans had received new information that changed everything. The last entry mentions a revelation about the true nature of the threat. Vale read aloud. Then the logs just stop. No explanation, no follow-up, nothing. The crew found evidence that the humans had departed quickly but carefully. Essential systems were placed in standby mode, personal items were packed away, and security protocols were activated. They had left as if planning to return. The crew prepared to leave the fleet and search for clues about human civilization. They had no idea they were about to discover that humans had never left the galaxy at all. The search for true third person, the trail led to the Sol system, origin of the mysterious human fleet. Captain Rax's ship approached cautiously, expecting to find ancient ruins or dead worlds. Instead, they discovered something impossible, a thriving civilization that showed no signs of advanced technology. The third planet teemed with billions of beings who matched the physical descriptions from the fleet's files. They called themselves humans, but their technology was primitive. Basic nuclear power, chemical rockets, and simple electronics. They had barely begun exploring their own star system. "This makes no sense," Dr. Vale muttered, studying the scans. "These beings are genetically identical to the fleet builders, but their technology is centuries behind. How can the same species exist at two completely different development levels?" Commander Brix noticed something else disturbing. The humans on the planet showed signs of recent rapid advancement. Their technology had jumped forward dramatically in just the past 50 years, almost as if someone had been guiding their development. The ship's long-range sensors detected hidden installations throughout the system, massive structures concealed behind asteroids and moons, all built with the same advanced technology as the lost fleet. Someone was watching these primitive humans very carefully. "There are defense platforms everywhere," Brix reported. "Weapons that could vaporize our ship without effort, but they're all in stealth mode, completely invisible to the planet's primitive sensors." Captain Rax realized they were looking at the most sophisticated deception in galactic history. The advanced humans were still here, but they were hiding behind a facade of primitiveness. The question was why. The crew intercepted communications from the hidden installations. The messages were in advanced human languages discussing something called the graduation protocol. References to maintaining the illusion and preparing for revelation suggested a long-term plan was reaching completion. Vale discovered the truth in the cultural database. The primitive humans weren't primitive at all. They were the descendants of the fleet builders, living under carefully controlled conditions. The advanced humans had retreated into hiding, guiding their own species' development from the shadows. "They're running some kind of experiment on themselves," Vale explained. "The advanced humans are watching to see how their species develops without outside interference. It's like they're studying their own nature." The reasons became clear as they decoded more files. The humans had discovered that their rapid technological advancement had come at a cost. They were losing something essential about their nature. The isolation experiment was designed to preserve their core identity while they evolved. But there was another reason for the deception. The files contained references to the Watchers, other advanced civilizations that monitored developing species. The humans had hidden their true capabilities to avoid detection by these mysterious observers. "They're not just hiding from us," Brix realized. "They're hiding from someone else entirely, someone who would consider advanced humans a threat." The crew discovered that the abandoned fleet had been a decoy. While galactic civilization found and studied the empty ships, the real human forces had remained hidden. The lost armada was meant to be discovered. It was part of an elaborate misdirection. Captain Rax felt a chill as he understood the implications. The humans hadn't disappeared. They had chosen to appear powerless while maintaining overwhelming strength in secret. They were playing a game whose rules no one else understood. The ship's computers decoded more of the advanced human communications. References to Phase 3 and galactic integration suggested their long isolation was ending. The humans were preparing to reveal themselves, but on their own terms. Vale found historical records explaining the Great Withdrawal. The humans had realized their rapid expansion would trigger conflicts with other species. Rather than conquer or compete, they had chosen to step back and develop in secret, while guiding galactic civilization's growth. "They've been manipulating galactic development for centuries," Vale whispered. "Trade routes, diplomatic contacts, even technological discoveries. They've been quietly influencing everything." The crew realized they were looking at the most patient and sophisticated civilization in galactic history. The humans had possessed the power to conquer the galaxy centuries ago, but had chosen instead to nurture it toward some greater purpose. But their patient plan was about to end. Communications indicated the humans had decided the galaxy was ready for their return. The primitive facade would soon be dropped, revealing the truth that would change everything. As Captain Rax prepared to leave the Sol system, he wondered if they should report their discovery. The knowledge that humanity had been secretly guiding galactic civilization would cause panic among the established powers. The decision was taken out of his hands when their ship's communication system activated on its own. A calm voice spoke in perfect galactic standard. "Greetings, Captain Rax. We believe it's time we talked. First contact, second time, third person." The voice belonged to Commander Stone, leader of the hidden human observation post that had been tracking Captain Rax's ship since they first discovered the abandoned fleet. Stone's image appeared on their screens, clearly human but wearing technology that was centuries ahead of anything in known space. "Please don't be alarmed," Stone said calmly. "Your discovery was anticipated. In fact, it was planned. We've been waiting for the right species to find our old ships and ask the right questions." Captain Rax felt his crew's fear and wonder in equal measure. "You've been watching us this whole time." "Watching everyone, actually," Stone replied. "For the past 3 centuries, we've been observing galactic civilization's development. You've progressed remarkably well, considering the challenges you've faced." Dr. Vale found her voice. "The abandoned fleet, it was bait." Stone nodded. "A test, more accurately. We needed to see how different species would react to finding technology beyond their understanding. Your crew's scientific curiosity and ethical concerns were exactly what we hoped to see." Commander Brix's military training kicked in. "What do you want from us?" "Nothing threatening," Stone assured him. "But the galaxy is approaching a crucial point in its development. The old threats we prepared for are returning, and this time, isolated civilizations won't be enough to stop them." The human commander activated a holographic display showing the galaxy's current state, trade routes, alliance networks, and territorial boundaries were all marked in detail that suggested observation spanning centuries. "The swarm we prepared to fight never disappeared," Stone explained. "They retreated to dark space, growing stronger while studying our defenses. Our withdrawal bought time for the galaxy to develop, but that time is ending." Vale studied the data with growing alarm. "How long do we have?" 12 years, perhaps 15, Stone replied. "The swarm has learned from their previous defeat. This time they won't make the same mistakes. They're coming with technology that matches our own." Captain Rax struggled to process the implications. "Why reveal yourselves now? Why not continue hiding?" Stone's expression grew serious. "Because hiding won't work anymore. The swarm knows we're here. They've known for decades. Our withdrawal convinced them we were weak or extinct. They're wrong. But correcting that mistake will require cooperation from all galactic civilizations." The human commander began explaining humanity's true situation. The primitive humans on Earth weren't experimental subjects. They were the majority of their species, living normal lives while a small group maintained the advanced technology and military capabilities. "We call ourselves the Guardians," Stone said. "About 1% of humanity chose to dedicate their lives to protecting the rest. We maintain the hidden bases, operate the observation posts, and prepare for threats like the swarm." Dr. Vale asked the question that puzzled her most. Why the deception? Why not openly join galactic civilization? Stone activated another display showing historical projections. Every model we ran showed the same result. If humanity had revealed our capabilities 3 centuries ago, it would have triggered galactic war. Other species would have either tried to conquer us or destroy us out of fear. The psychological profiles were extensive. Humanity's rapid technological development and aggressive nature would have been seen as an existential threat by established civilizations. The galaxy would have united against them, resulting in devastating conflict. So we chose patience, Stone continued. We guided galactic development subtly, encouraging cooperation and technological advancement while remaining hidden. The galaxy is now strong enough to accept us as partners rather than threats. Commander Brix had been studying the military data. Your current fleet makes the abandoned ships look primitive. How much power do you actually have? Stone's answer was sobering. Enough to protect the galaxy, hopefully. But the swarm has grown as well. This won't be an easy victory for anyone. The human commander made an offer that would change galactic history. We're prepared to reveal ourselves and share our technology, but we need cooperation from major galactic powers. The coming war will require unity on a scale never before achieved. Captain Rax realized they were being offered the chance to broker the most important first contact in galactic history. What do you need from us? Help us introduce humanity to galactic civilization, Stone replied. Your species has a reputation for diplomacy and fair dealing. If you vouch for us, other civilizations are more likely to accept our partnership. The implications were staggering. The balance of galactic power was about to shift dramatically, and they were being asked to facilitate the change. The galaxy is about to discover that humanity never disappeared, Stone concluded. The question is whether that revelation brings hope or fear. We're counting on beings like you to help ensure it's hope. The new galactic age, third person. 6 months after first contact with Commander Stone, the galaxy had transformed beyond recognition. Captain Rax stood on the observation deck of the new galactic defense station, watching human ships work alongside vessels from dozens of species to prepare for the coming war. The revelation of humanity's continued existence had initially caused panic among galactic governments. The discovery that humans had been secretly influencing galactic development for centuries had sparked angry debates in every major council, but the approaching swarm threat had quickly focused minds on cooperation rather than confrontation. Dr. Vale had been appointed to the Joint Technology Committee, working with human scientists to upgrade galactic defensive systems. The humans shared their advances freely, but the learning curve was steep. Technologies that took humanity centuries to develop had to be mastered by other species in months. The energy shielding alone could revolutionize everything, Vale reported, during their weekly briefing. But integrating it with existing systems requires completely new approaches to engineering. Commander Brix commanded a mixed squadron of human and alien warships, part of the new unified defense fleet. Training. Exercises revealed how much the galaxy's military thinking had to change. Human tactical doctrines emphasized speed, flexibility, and overwhelming firepower in ways that challenged traditional approaches. They don't fight like anyone else, Brix noted. Every engagement is treated as potentially decisive. They hit hard, move fast, and always have backup plans for their backup plans. The cultural integration proved as challenging as the technological. Humans brought perspectives that other species found both inspiring and disturbing. Their emphasis on individual rights and democratic decision-making clashed with many established governmental systems. Captain Rax found himself serving as an unofficial mediator, helping resolve conflicts between human ideals and galactic traditions. The humans insisted on voluntary cooperation rather than commanded obedience, a concept that confused species with more hierarchical societies. Commander Stone had been promoted to lead the new Galactic Defense Council, coordinating preparations across hundreds of worlds. The humans' organizational skills proved as valuable as their technology. They had experience managing complex interstellar operations that most species lacked. The swarm won't give us time to perfect our coordination, Stone warned during council meetings. We need to be ready to fight as a unified force, even if we're still learning to work together. The first major test came when swarm scouts were detected at the galaxy's edge. Human deep space monitoring networks, now revealed and expanded, tracked the enemy's approach with precision that amazed other species. The scouts retreated when confronted by the new unified patrols, but their message was clear. The real invasion was coming. Dr. Vale's team made breakthrough discoveries by combining human technology with innovations from other species. The resulting hybrid systems were more powerful than anything either side could have created alone. The galaxy was becoming stronger through cooperation. We're not just preparing for war, Vale realized. We're creating the foundation for a new kind of galactic civilization. The humans' long-term perspective influenced every aspect of the preparation. Where other species focused on immediate defensive needs, humans planned for post-war reconstruction and long-term stability. They were already designing systems for an era of peace that might come after victory. Captain Rax observed the transformation with wonder and concern. The galaxy was uniting as never before, but the strain was enormous. Some species struggled with the rapid changes, while others worried about human dominance despite assurances of partnership. The breakthrough came when the first joint human-alien crew successfully operated a hybrid warship designed by multiple species working together. The vessel represented everything the new alliance aspired to be, different strengths combined into something greater than the sum of its parts. This is what the humans were waiting for, Rax realized. Not just technological readiness, but social evolution. We're finally mature enough to work together. As the swarm's main force appeared at the galaxy's edge, the unified fleet moved. To meet them, hundreds of species fought side by side, using combined technologies and tactics that neither the swarm nor individual civilizations could have anticipated. The battle was brutal but decisive. The swarm had prepared for the galaxy they remembered, divided, competitive, and technologically limited. They found instead a unified force led by the humans they thought were extinct, supported by allies who had grown beyond their previous limitations. In the aftermath of victory, Captain Rax stood again on the observation deck, now watching construction of the first truly integrated galactic cities. Humans worked openly alongside other species, no longer hidden, no longer pretending to be less than they were. The galaxy had survived its greatest test and emerged transformed. The age of hidden watchers and secret influences was over. The new age of open cooperation and shared strength had begun. Commander Stone joined him at the viewport. "This is what we were working toward all along," the human said quietly. "Not human dominance, but galactic maturity." The stars looked different now. Not as distant lights, but as neighbors in a community that had finally learned to stand together.